Welcome to The Game Case, a show for, well, anyone that plays World of Warcraft. The show rife with ramblings, tips, tricks, and goings-on in WoW. Here's your host, Chris Case.
Well, hello, hi, howdy, and welcome to episode 43 of The Game Case. I am Chris, also known as Cuddles, a brewmaster monk on Airy Peak in the Convert to Raid Guild. This week, we're going to talk a little bit about our week in Blizzard Gaming, cover some of the Blizzard news, and then we're going to talk a little bit about beards, castles, Blizzard Gaming, and here's some huge announcements from my good friend, my beard brother, a man who is complicit in the raiding of the Wisconsin Renaissance Festival, and host of the Frozen Nerds podcast, Mr. Epic Insanity. Epic, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing great. Wow, that introduction. Like, I don't even know if I can live up to 95% of that.
Oh, you've done some of those things.
Well, I do have a beard, so that's a good start.
Much better than mine, I might add. My beard is actually hiding in shame behind my microphone tonight, whilst his stands out proudly.
You can try to hide mine.
No, you can't. You can't. There's no hiding it. You could actually drape it around the microphone. And
I actually wore a red shirt tonight, too, just so that you could actually see it, because normally I wear black.
Oh.
And then you can't see me at all. It's just like this part of my face just barely showing up. So.
I thought the red shirt thing was more like maybe like a Star Trek reference for Midnight.
Maybe.
Okay.
Still haven't watched any of that.
None at all.
Besides the two new movies, like that's it. And those don't even count.
Yeah, those don't count.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's enough of that. But I'd like to thank you for taking some time out of your extremely busy schedule. And I'd like to ask you, how was your week of life?
Busy. No, we were talking pre-show. Biggest thing is last 2 days working on my car. As a nerd, working on cars is not one of my fortes by any means. But you learn and you break things and you fix them and you pay lots of money to fix them again. But it's all worth it in the long run. But yeah, life, work, some video games, I guess, maybe. I don't even know anymore. But how were you doing? How was your week this week?
It was pretty good. I've been down sick the last few days. Cuddle Kid had strep throat. Cuddle Wife had sinus infection. So we were officially living in like a quarantine zone. I survived for a few days, and then I got the man flu like hardcore. I will admit to not being half as sick as anyone else in the house, but being twice as big of a baby. Like I get like a 99.1 degree temperature and I'm done. That's it. That's it. Cuddles is throwing in the towel. It's over. And that was me the last couple of days. I've been exhausted. Couldn't get out of bed. But I'm here. I'm feeling better finally. So life is good. Life is really good. Got a little got the Renaissance Festival starting up here. Gonna try to hit that up this weekend. So
awesome.
Good times.
Ours is nowhere near being ready to start here in Wisconsin. We're actually going to have a heat wave this weekend. Get ready for it. 45 degrees above zero. So that's always good.
I cannot even wrap my head around why people live there.
I was asking myself that today while I was laying on my side underneath my car on the ice in my driveway. So yeah. I question my sanity all the time.
I hadn't even thought about that. Like doing anything outside is just got to be like miserable this time of year.
That's why you have facial hair. And also I'm so used to it. Like it's not even like I wear a spring coat to work and it's 0 degrees out. Like I'm so used to it. It's just part of my nature now. Living here now, well, I've lived in Wisconsin my entire life, but officially living here for 28 years. Like, wow. You kind of just get used to it. And this winter has been actually extremely nice on us, for me anyway. We've been sitting around like 25 degrees almost all winter, which is unheard of around here. Like,
okay.
2 years ago, I have pictures that were showing up on my time hop of -53. Um, so yeah, like 2 years ago, we weren't even going outside. I have pictures of my beard, my baby beard, 2 years ago, completely encased in ice from like walking a mile across the lake when I was fishing. So it's just, yeah,
Wow.
it gets a little crazy at times.
That sir is insane. I can remember coming up for Ren Raid and y'all warning me that it was going to be super hot and miserable, and it was like 78.
Yeah,
It
let's say
was
like 80
beautiful.
degrees.
Yeah. I was
We
like, what are you
round
guys
up.
talking about? It's like
Yeah.
97 back home. Like, come on.
Yep.
It's
like
it's funny. It's just it's a different mindset, I guess.
Yep. And the thing is, though, we get the extreme. Like we get the zero all winter long and the 80s all summer long.
Mm.
So it's an 80-degree. Like even I was saying, like, so last week it was zero. It was -15. It was all this stuff. And then now, tomorrow, Saturday, Friday, whatever tomorrow is. Yeah. So on Friday, Saturday, it's supposed to be 45. So you're making a 45-degree temperature change in 1 week.
Oof.
You know, it's like, and that's why we get sick. Like I'm fighting a cold. I'm fighting everything. Like I'm living with Vicks Vapor Rub on my desk. Like anything to not have me die. So I'm able to do this, to talk and never shut up. So yeah.
Nice. Nice. Well, why don't we talk a little bit about what we've been doing with gaming? What have you been able to, amidst all the snow and car fixing and all that, have you been able to spin up the old computer and do any gaming?
Yeah. So this is how my week goes every week when it comes to gaming. Um, I played WoW for 22 minutes. Um, so I'm done for the week now. I completed my raid. 22
Nice.
minutes. We're done. We've been just farming heroic Archmon and giving away free mounts. So we literally go in with our raid team and we kill Manaroth and Archie on heroic with our carry, and we're done. And then well, this week I haven't played as much, but logged ridiculous amounts of hours in the Overwatch beta. So, yeah.
Nice. So how have you been finding Overwatch? You enjoying it?
I'm actually loving Overwatch as of right now. It needs some improvements, but that's why it's beta. So we're hopefully going to see those improvements coming this week. We're testing hard. Blizzard wasn't necessarily responding to the testing that we were doing. They did acknowledge that there are some things that need to get fixed, and they are doing it. I'm loving it. I'm a huge first-person shooter fan. Something that Blizzard's making a first-person shooter that just blows my mind. Something I never thought I'd ever see happen is now happening, and I'm ready for it to be live, and I'm ready to be playing ranked play and just owning noobs all day. So,
Right on. Right on. No, I've been loving Overwatch as well myself. Been getting a little bit of game time in. Been loving some of the changes that are going on. I have not read the new patch notes, but I saw that Diva got some buffs. There's some cool stuff going on, and yeah, I too am extremely pumped for to see how how that's gonna happen and what we're gonna really see. I got to do a little bit of the I got to play a little bit more Warcraft than you. I got to do some raiding with both Bacon and Kegs and Rubber Chicken Coalition. Ran all my hundreds through the Love is in the Air dungeon. No Love Rocket for me yet, but I am having a lot of fun, and got squeezed a little hot sin with the converted crew, which is always a good time. And I will say I'm really looking forward to Brewmaster being out in the Legion Alpha, which that will actually bring us and segue us quite nicely. Is it a good segue even if I mention it? I don't know if that actually works. But that's going to bring us right into the Blizzard news. And now for news from all things Blizzard. So, Blizzard news this week. First and foremost, Florida meetup. What? March 19th, Central Florida, Wing 2 of the Ren Raid 2016. March 19th, guys, there is an event over on Eventbrite. I know, we're all, a little anxious about Eventbrite, but I think they'll be able to handle the volume of this. So bit.ly/RenRaidFL. That's REN Raid FL. Click on that. That'll take you right to the event. You can sign up RSVP there. You will need to get tickets to the Renaissance Festival. There's details and a link there. You can find all that information. So go check that out. Now, into actual real Blizzard news, Legion system specs have been released. And I'm going to throw these up here on the screen. Epic, have you seen the new Legion system specs? Can you even hear me anymore?
I think I can. Hopefully the chat room can actually hear me. I'm shutting some stuff down to see what I can figure out how to fix the robot on my end. I have seen the Legion specs. A lot of people are freaking out about it. Unfortunately, I'm not really seeing any reason to, besides the 45 gigs of hard drive space. Oh my gosh. But everything else, like there's always going to be something. But the people have to remember that like the minimum requirements is what you should be looking at. You should be looking at some of the graphics cards. My graphics cards just on the outside edge of that. I have a GT 540, I think, or 550. So I'm right on the outside edge of that. I'm planning on upgrading before Legion comes, which is in like 6 months. So we all have time to do this. But yeah, a lot of people are freaking out. Panic has set in. And it's always interesting to me to see how much people freak out about something that we knew it was coming. WoW can only last on old machines. They're still supporting Windows XP, guys. Like that's crazy. Like Microsoft doesn't even support Windows XP anymore. So
yeah, that's the thing. I've seen this has been getting passed around my raid teams and obviously out on the Twitterverse. And yeah, some people are getting a little for lack of a better term, butthurt. But come on, guys. Like, I understand that WoW is 10 years old and you still have the same PC that you bought 10 years ago when you first started playing WoW, but you're going to have to upgrade at some point. These are not, I mean, the Intel HD Graphics 5000, that's built-in graphics. That's not even a card.
No, exactly.
Like, they're an Intel Core 2 Duo. Go to Walmart and spend $200. You can get a PC that will play this. It's not, and I understand that financially that's a thing for people, and but you have to keep that in mind as well, that this game is advancing, and my Nintendo will not play Xbox One games. I'm not upset by this because technology advances, and I will say Legion looks gorgeous right now. Some of the shading, some of the detail. I mean, even all I've ever played is Draenor and now the Legion Alpha. And just walking around in Legion, I'm going, wow, things look a little bit prettier.
Yeah. Even on the Alpha, things look beautiful. Like, and if this is the Alpha and things aren't finished, like a lot of the Blood Elf males don't have clothes on. They're just wearing underwear. Like if things still look that beautiful around them, if you kind of shade them out and blur them out because it's not safe for work, everything around them, just like everything is just so beautiful. And I don't know if it's because it's new. Like I thought the same thing about Cataclysm and the same thing about Mists of Pandaria and the same thing about Draenor. You walk in there and you're just like, this is so beautiful. And then like 2 months later, you're like, oh, it's so dirty and dingy and old. But it's still like, go stand in a quiet spot in the game and just turn 360 with your sound on and just take it all in. It's a video game, dude. Like, it's beautiful graphics. Like, for a 10-year-old game, the graphics are unheard of. Like, I play a lot of video games, as do most of us. Um, it's crazy. Like it's a 10-year-old game. I don't know any other 10-year-old games that have kept up with the times and kept their system requirements as low as World of Warcraft has for as long as they have. In even this though too, like, and I get it financially. Trust me, like to build a computer that I want to build, I'm looking at like $2,000 to $3,000. That's an investment. But if I would show you what I have set up right now, I have my podcasting laptop, which is a MacBook Pro that all I do with is watch Netflix and podcast on it. That's it. Nothing else happens on this entire computer. To my left is my editing computer. That's my old gaming laptop. And to my far left is my gaming laptop. So, like, I have 3 computers to do the tasks of one. And over the years, I upgrade and I shift them and I move files around, and it's what happens. But I want to get something that can do everything that I want to do, like this. Well, first I need better internet. My potato internet's not going to cut it. If there's so, but it's not necessarily something I can fix. I live out in the middle of nowhere. Like, it's 10 miles both ways to the nearest gas station. Like,
wow.
McDonald's is the closest fast food place we have. It's also the closest restaurant. And that's being nice. Restaurant. So,
wow. I can tell you guys, like, looking at these system recs, they're not crazy. Like, go ahead, freak out a little bit, then calm down, and either talk to somebody that you know that either builds computers, or go just spec one of these out. You have 6 months. This shouldn't be totally out of the realm of possibility for most folks. And even their recommended specifications, you could build up to this easily for, I don't know, maybe $500-600. An i5 and a 750 Ti's last gen. So I mean, these aren't crazy. I currently have a over $2,000 PC that will still not play everything that's out right now fully on Ultra. There are games that I can't max out the settings, and that bothers me. So I'm probably going to drop $3,000 on my next PC, just because I want to play everything on Ultra. But if you want to just be able to play WoW and keep on doing what you're doing, this should be plausible and possible. And the one thing is, they're giving this to us with plenty of advance notice. They're not springing us on this like release week. Deep breath.
Yep.
Windows 10 is not required. Theory in the chat room has said the one thing that people will hate is the Windows 10 requirement. It is not required. It is suggested. It's under their recommended. But you can run this on XP. And like Epic just mentioned, even Microsoft isn't supporting XP anymore. I mean, that's pretty that's pretty awesome. So that's really the biggest part of news out there. I was talking to Epic before the show, and I'm going to I won't talk about this every show, but I'm going to kind of back off of news, guys, because unless it's something like this that we really need to talk about, there's Wowhead, an MMO champion out there, and I am not conceited enough to think that I'm going to cover anything better than them. They have folks that are actually paid to do those things. So from here moving forward, news for the Game Case show is going to be touching on topics like this, but probably not digging deep into patch notes and things of that nature unless it makes sense that week. So we covered our little bit of Blizzard news, and now the segment that's going to replace it, questions from the Cuddle Crew. Questions from the Cuddle Crew. So we have 2 questions from the Cuddle Crew this week. Now, if you're wondering, if you're kind of scratching your head and going questions from the Cuddle Crew, That sounds amazing. How could I be part of the Cuddle Crew? Well, it's easy. Simply go to bit.ly/cuddlesdiscord, join our Discord server, and we have a chat channel there for questions for the show. Get your show questions in before 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the day of the show, and we'll talk about them right here. So first off, we have a question from Zato. Zato asks, how do you balance gaming with real life? Family, work, friends, working out, etc. Epic, I'm going to toss this one to you, sir, since you've had a little bit of real life happen this week.
So I'm probably going to sound like a robot again because it just went robot again.
And you know what we're going to do? We're going to drop Epic and bring him right back in here. All right. We're going to try this again, folks. All right. Sir, can you hear me now?
It's a little robot-y, but it's clearing up a little bit. Now it just went straight robot-y.
So, folks, bear with us for just a moment here while we try to clear up some technical difficulties. All right, let me drop him one more time. We'll try to get him back. All right, well, I can see you now. Can you hear me now? Now I can't hear a word you're saying.
Probably because I'm muted.
There we go. Huzzah, technology. Time to convince a Wendy's to move in next door to Epic so he can steal their Wi-Fi.
It's true. It's true. Question for you, because you're a video person. Is there a way to make it so it's not, I'm not seeing the video, like, but you can see my video?
You could minimize it, but I don't know what that actually does with data. I don't know if the data still streams the same way or if that actually like throttles it down.
Yeah, because I'm trying to, because like right now I'm not even getting video from you at all.
Oh, awesome. I can hear you just great.
Can you see me at all is the question.
I can see some pixels that kind of look like you.
Slow motion robot.
Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. In slow motion for me.
Let me try.
See, so all right, so chat room, I went Windows 10 day one. Had a few problems, broke a bunch of things, and eventually I ended up really liking it. It's snappy, it's responsive. I still have a few issues, but overall I'm really liking it. The internet cannot handle how epic is.
My internet can't handle much.
Now, we could just cut the video. I can throw up a picture and we could just talk.
If you want to do that, we can do that too.
We could do, I mean, if it's...
I'm just worried that it's going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's going to become more of a problem, especially for editing's sake.
Midnight, that's exactly what I just thought. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let us cut your video. So you'll have to cut yours.
Yeah, it should be cut.
And then let me
As-
find.
let me find my conversation with you. There we go. Yeah, because it's showing my video is now turned off.
Ooh. See, now you sound fine.
Yeah, and like I think part of the issue is on my end it's streaming in 1080p,
That'll do
and
it.
I can't turn down anything in Skype so that it's not 1080p.
Now I'm trying to find a good picture to put up. Doop-a-doop-a-doo-doo. Thank you for bearing with us, chat room. I do appreciate you guys.
Yes. Thanks for putting up with me.
Technical difficulties happen. If you don't have technical problems, then you're probably not doing a live show.
And that's why we don't do a live show. Which without video, I might actually be able to go back into the chat room and actually see what people are saying.
Oh, I don't want a game capture. Let's throw up a desktop. Live. Open.
So I don't always use the Twitch app on my phone, but every time I do, it makes me log in.
Midnight, that is your van. That is the back of your van. And that is the picture we are using. And he can't see it.
Slightly
That's the
creeped
best
out.
part.
Oh, this is what I get for potato internet.
All right, so why don't we jump in here from I'll edit for the audio side. I'll edit it out at the questions bumper. So I will go ahead and read the question again, and then we'll go with your response. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
All right. So our first question is from Zato. How do you balance gaming with real life? Family, work, friends, working out, etc. Now, Epic, since you had a little bit of real life happen this week, I'm going to kick this to you, first of all.
Me first. You don't. You don't balance it at all. No. I would say the hardest thing about video gaming in general is finding that perfect balance. I guarantee we all don't spend enough time with our family. We don't spend enough time with our friends. We spend too much time at work and not enough time working out. But it all comes down to you have to pick your priorities. Clearly, family is important. They are your family. I'm lucky enough that I'm a single guy, so I don't have to worry about that as much. But I still have family. I still have a sister. I still have a little brother. I still have parents. So I still have family. So a lot of it is you just got to figure out how to balance that the best, and knowing when to back off on something like gaming in order to spend time with family, or find a time that gaming works. I know, like you, Cuddles, you raid at like 7 o'clock in the morning on Sundays, which is crazy, by the way. But that's what works for you. Your family's probably still sleeping because they're probably normal and they probably still sleep at 7 o'clock on Sunday mornings. So you just have to find that whole balance of when you can do stuff and make it work. For me, for example, working out is a thing that I do as soon as I get home from work. I'm still tired from work. I'm still lazy. I don't want to be here. But all I'll do is go sit on the treadmill and watch Netflix. It does not, like, I shouldn't say sit on the treadmill. I actually walk on the treadmill.
It was like you're not using it right.
How do you treadmill? So it's one of those things though, like you have to just work out the balance. And honestly, video game should be considered like a luxury, not necessarily um, a necessity. You don't need video games to live. Some of us feel like we should. Like it's the only way I can breathe is if I have video games in my life. But there's so much more out there to life than just video games. So sometimes you just gotta work out that balance and try to do what you do. Real life always comes first. That's my rating motto. I guess should preface this. I've been playing WoW for over 10 years. I've been a raid leader for 6 of those 10 years.
Wow.
And a guild leader at the same time. And my biggest motto to all of my guildies and all of my raiders is real life comes first. So if your daughter has a ballet recital that you have to go to, or if your son has a swim meet, go to those things. Like, they don't happen as much as boss kills happen, and we're pixels. Like, go take care of that stuff. You know, if you're sick, cool. Like, I'm not going to be mad. I'll never be mad at you, unless if your real life is that you just don't want to raid and you'd rather go play Fallout on your PS4. Then we might have issues. But I still get that, though. Like, there's still things like raider burnout, and it's real. Like, go enjoy a different game. Go play H1Z1 if you want. I'll join you. You know, you gotta take that time to just enjoy other things outside of gaming and outside of WoW too. So,
Right on. And I had answered this a little bit from my perspective last week, but I'll throw in that I schedule my life like almost down to the minute, when I'm gonna sleep, when I'm gonna game, when I'm gonna spend time with my family, and with the caveat that it's all flexible. There's some days, like when Legion Alpha released, I went to my wife and I sat her down. I was like, I just got in Legion Alpha. She had no idea what I was talking about. But I explained, I was very lucky to get in the very first wave, and I don't know how, but it was really, really cool. And I was like, listen, this weekend you're not gonna see me. Like, I am sorry. I will make it up to you, but I need to do this for the thing that I do as, you know, a serious hobby. Like, I need to go play in Legion Alpha. And it's, I'm very lucky to have a very understanding family, and I do my best to make up the time that I sacrifice with them to kind of do this. I guess I may be, Zato, I may not be answering your question directly, because I think you're asking more as just a gamer, and I'm speaking kind of as a content creator. But simply as a gamer, I think Epic nailed it like right on the head. Like, real life is more important by far. If it comes down to killing Archimond or watching your kids sing in the school chorus, like, don't even, if you're even thinking about that, sit down and have a real look about what's going on in your life.
Exactly.
And you know what? For some people, that's, they're going to make the decision on the other side. Maybe video gaming is more important. And you know what? Do you, but make sure you have that clear in your head, because the times with your family, our raid resets every Tuesday. Your family and the life outside of Azeroth doesn't reset every Tuesday.
Yep, and that's the biggest thing too, is it's taking that quality time with the people that are around you, because someday those people aren't going to be around you. As sick and twisted as that sounds, kids grow up and move away.
Yeah.
Wives
Bosses
get
respawn.
sick of you playing video games, and they move away too. So there's always that, like, you have to consider what like you said, what refreshes every Tuesday. You know, like, we're not stuck in Groundhog's Day. We don't get to live the same day over and over again the rest of our lives. We get to make choices. I'm not saying, like, video games are still a huge part of both of our lives. We're content creators. This is what we do, you know, like, but that's the thing, is you gotta find that balance. And it's super hard, especially if we're just talking Blizzard Entertainment titles. You have your your Overwatch beta, your Legion Alpha, your Heroes of the Storm, your Hearthstone, your StarCraft, your Diablo new season comes out. It's impossible to do it all. It's like without locking yourself in your room and just doing it forever. So
Yeah. And bosses will respawn. People won't. Like that might be a little morbid there, but I'm sorry. It's the truth. If you've ever lost somebody close to you, it makes you think. And the sad part about human beings is it makes you think for like a week, and then you forget about it. And then you go back to living life. And just get your priorities straight, peoples.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, I know both of us you've traveled further than me to hang out with your friends that you've met in video games, but take those opportunities. And I know people suffer from different ailments of, anxiety and stress. And I honestly, like, to put me in front of a crowd of people and make me talk, I clam up. I don't know what to do. My palms are sweaty, like it's hard. But the best part about like nerds is like we get to enjoy each other's company, but try to see if there's a way you can incorporate that into your everyday life. Introduce your son to Hearthstone. Let him dip his toes in the Blizzard pool. Show your wife what Heroes of the Dorm is. Like show her that these college kids are playing for their college tuition. And if that would have been you in college, like how crazy is this to think of, like, when I was in college, we were playing in Halo tournaments, and now like these kids are playing PC games to pay for their college.
We were playing in Halo tournaments for $20 gift cards, yo.
When we were lucky if there was a payout. Usually it was just bragging, right? So.
Oh man. Well, Zato, I hope that covers that question for you. Thanks for putting that over in the Discord. Our next question and our final question from the Cuddle Crew this week is from Knockout11B, who I believe is in the chat room tonight. What advice can you give for becoming a new podcaster or joining a current podcast show? Epic, you got anything?
So advice on becoming a new podcaster is just do it. We're going to take a little. Shia. Yeah, I was just going to say, we're going to take one off his playbook. But honestly, the biggest thing is people, like, I've been doing live podcasting in Blizzard Entertainment podcasting and talking on the internet for over 3 years now. And I get this question all the time. People, like, wow, I have this really cool idea for a show. I really want to be involved in podcasting. What should I do? Just do it. Research the equipment that you need. Obviously, you don't need a $300 microphone. You don't need a $2,000 computer to record on. But you can get away with your gaming headset that you already own and some free software, Audacity. Sit down and just start making magic happen. The biggest fear that all of us have in life is rejection. As confident as you might be and as arrogant as you could possibly be, we're all scared to failing. And podcasting is a new thing that a lot of people are scared to do because you expose yourself to internet trolls and the bad people on the internet. Well, the cool thing is there's more awesome people on the internet that I've met than trolls, because trolls, I don't give them time anymore because they're not important. So get that out of your head and just put it down on paper and start working on it and just start busting it out and just make it happen. Like, there is I think the last number I heard, 76 active Blizzard Entertainment /WoW podcasts right now.
Yep.
Did you know that if you go to iTunes right now, there's like 11 billion podcasts out there? We are like less than the 1%. So yeah, there's always room for more. There's always room for new ideas. There's always room for new voices, new opinions, different opinions. So just go for it.
I don't even have anything to add to that. I mean, That's my go-to piece of advice is grab a mic and just start talking. Hit record and talk into it. That's what it takes to start a podcast, guys. No fancy equipment. I've heard of people starting with a $10 Logitech mic.
Yeah. Get a $10 Logitech one with clear chat built into it, and you're golden. That's all you need. It'll block out that background noise. It's perfect, clear, crystal clear voice quality. $10. Pick it up at Walmart, Amazon, anywhere. Like, you can get a very, very nice headset for very cheap. But the biggest thing is, like, and I was just gonna quick say too, like, I got into podcasting. I got into podcasting because I used to sit and mumble in Ventrilo and talk to my friends about video games for 6 hours a day, and listening to all these podcasts and getting irritated because they were all cookie cutter and people all talked about the same stuff every show. And I was just like, there needs to be someone new in there. There needs to be someone doing something different. And that's where it all began. And finally, after some probing from friends and co-hosts to get the show up and running, we did it. And that was 3 years ago and 2 shows ago. So, you just gotta put it on paper and make it happen. And don't be scared. Like, there are plenty of us out there that are completely terrified by everything in life, and to just go with it and enjoy it. And if you fail, you fail. Scrap the idea, start over, talk to your friends, don't go to the forums. I was going to say go to the forums, but that's a bad idea. Don't go to the forums. Don't go to Reddit. Talk to your close-knit group of friends. Talk to fellow podcasters that you might know. Talk to Cuddles. He's new to World of Warcraft. He's new to podcasting, and he's off and running and doing an amazing job. And, he's doing live shows, dude. Like, I don't have the guts to do live shows. I'm not a live performer. I'm a let's fix that on the back end kind of guy.
And awesome, I was muted.
I was wondering what just happened.
Yeah, no, that was, and I'm glad, because I made a comment about my own back end, and it really just shouldn't have been on the internet. So that's perfect. The second part of your question, joining our current podcast, that's a little bit difficult. Yes. A lot of podcasters are like Epic and Kilroy. They have chemistry, they have friendship, they have history. There is a reason that they are podcasting together, which is not to say that you don't have chemistry or friendship or history with others. But even if you do with somebody that's already on a podcast, it's very rare that you're willing to change the format of your show. That's our shows are our babies.
Yes, they are. And
inviting someone else in, like, recently I was I was lucky enough, and I'm gonna totally throw all that out the window, and point out that I recently joined the Converted, which it was of course started by Belschnickel and Salmisis to be the official podcast of the Convert to Raid Guild. They had a host leave and wanted to bring in a third host, so they approached me. And to be perfectly honest, part of them approaching me was because I have my own show. They've known me in the community, and they thought that I could bring some of Cuddles to the Converted, which hopefully I'm doing well. I enjoy the heck out of the show, but that is really a rare occasion in podcasting. Convert to Raid, Pat Crane's podcast, which I would think if you listen to a World of Warcraft podcasting, you're probably familiar with his show. When Coltrane left, they totally changed up the format of that show. And now he has kind of a rotating panel of guests. Well, he didn't do open auditions for that. It wasn't something that was available to the general public. It was he went and targeted other podcasters and other people in the community that he knew, loved, and trusted to come onto his baby.
Yeah.
The same thing, Mick Montgomery with the Starting Zone. Jesse Kobayashi recently left that show. And Mick actually did a kind of an open casting call for the Starting Zone. And that was actually episode 111. I believe that was my first appearance. Shameless self-promo. That's an important part of being a podcaster, by the way.
Let me write that down.
My first appearance on his show was actually kind of like a live audition for his co-host spot, which eventually went to Alt from Alternative Chat. And that's just, it's such a rare thing. Like, I can count on one hand, if I lost 3 fingers in a bandsaw accident, the amount of times that I've seen that happen in the last year and a half. So,
Well, and even, oh, go ahead.
No, please.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, my story, too, is I started out doing a podcast with a co-host who left the show. Then I proceeded to go solo for 15 episodes, which was rough because the show format that I first did wasn't structured for one person to do at the time. Then I did a thing which I referred to as voices from the community. Being a busy person, I didn't have time to actually sit down and interview people every week. So what I would do is I'd publish 5 questions. I'd have them record MP3 files, send them to me, and I would put their response to that question in the show, and then I would respond to their responses. So there was some type of dialogue. So it was at least more than just me talking for an hour. And that's actually how I found Kilroy. He was looking into getting into podcasting. One of our mutual friends was like, hey, I know this guy that auditioned for my show. Not saying that he wasn't a good fit for that show, but I think he'd be a great fit for your show. So I sat down with him. He did Voices of the Community. I brought him on as just a guest host to see how it would go. And like 15 minutes into the show, I was like, dude, like, done deal. Like, let's do this. Let's make it a permanent thing. Like, we didn't know each other ever at all before that.
Oh, wow.
Like, now that's over 2 years ago. Me and him have now traveled to 2 BlizzCons together. We raid together every week. We play video games together all the time. We've become great friends, and we have our issues, just like everybody else. But it is really hard. That first show was my baby. Frozen Nerds, me and Kilroy started that because we wanted a show that was ours, not just mine.
Yep.
Because there becomes that balance issue of like, so there's a lot of shows I'm thinking of, like with 3, like even let's use Convert to Raid. You talked about that already. They have 3, or they had 3 hosts. So there's 3 of them. Well, each person brings a different type of personality to the show. So you kind of build the show around the personalities and the people you have. Well, if you keep swapping out people, the show keeps changing because you're trying to match it to the personalities. Convert to Raid does a good job where it's a very structured show, set in stone. Not saying that they don't fluctuate, because they definitely have. With losing Coltrane, they have changed up their show. And they're still going strong, but a lot of that is it's hard for somebody to change their baby into something else. Me and Kilroy have sat down several times, and we have business discussions about where we're going to take the show, reformatting the show notes, reflowing the show, moving that from the end of the show to the start of the show, to just all these logistic things that like nobody thinks of and no one understands, that go into the behind the scenes of podcasting. But we do all that stuff to keep this synergy going between us. If he wants to talk about Hearthstone and I don't want to talk about it at all, then I'm going to let him talk about Hearthstone and not me do the Hearthstone segment.
Yep.
Because he's passionate and I'm just like, Hearthstone.
Hearthstone. But that's I think the important thing here is that start with the beginning of your question. Get a podcast of your own going if you would like, because I would say the vast majority of folks that I see join shows are from other shows.
Yep.
Simply because there's kind of a security blanket there. If we've heard you on 40 episodes of something else, we're probably more likely to, you know who that person is. He's a known quantity at that point. And like Willie Dills just joined Stormcast, another Spazbot Studios joint. But Dills is, he's from The Instance and from Angry Chicken. And I would imagine there wasn't much of a auditioning process there. It was probably like, oh, hey, Dills wants to do this podcast with us. Hey, does anybody hate him? No? Like, let's have him on and make sure we all get along. Okay, we do. Cool, let's roll.
Yeah.
So Knockout, I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you want to get into podcasting, I would say focus on your own craft. Develop who you are as a podcaster, and then people will find you.
Yep.
I did not go looking for the converted role. That fell into my lap. I did go looking for the starting zone role, and that did not fall into my lap. So who knows? Maybe that was maybe that's the answer. Let things come as they may.
Well, and something that has died off when it comes to WoW podcasting, and I think podcasting for the most part in general, is segments. So at the end of like The Instance, I don't know if it still happens. I don't usually listen to the full end of the show. I usually catch it on Fridays while it's being recorded. So I don't catch the fluff at the end. But the 1.5 minute segment at the end of somebody's show, that used to be like, that's where I found out about Convert to Raid, was they had a segment at the end of every one of the Instance episodes.
And that's actually a great idea. Doing a mini cast can be a great way to get into podcasting. I know that's how Monk Meditation came about. That's how many podcasts have come about. And if you have a topic that you think you could do something like that on, go for it, man.
But even if somebody else is already doing that topic, like sometimes even collabing with them on that topic, or inviting them onto your show or your mini cast or whatever it might be, and see if they want to, ping pong ideas off of each other, talk to other podcasters. I know I've probably talked to 50 people in my years about creating podcasts, and sadly about only 5 of them ever actually made a show.
Yep. You start recording, you're miles ahead of everyone else.
Yeah. You want to just run with it and see what happens. I never thought, and I don't like to talk numbers, so I'm not going to talk actual numbers, but I never would have thought that the amount of people that listen to my voice on the internet once a week would be ever the amount of people that it is. I'm literally a nerd who lives in his parents' basement, and talks on the internet. What? Like, this has opened up opportunities for so much more, and just so much ahead. And literally, I'm looking at possibly doing radio someday, maybe looking into going into broadcasting. Why? I like to just sit down and talk to people. I never shut up. So when me and Cuddles are on the same show together, it's like this ridiculous battle, because both of us just want to talk the whole time.
And his beard always wins. So that was fun. I had a good time. Thank you from the Cuddle crew. I appreciate each one of you. Thank you to Knockout and Zato. I hope that we answered your questions. If not, right in, we'll rehash them again next week. So why don't we go ahead and let's jump on into the meat and the potatoes of this show. And now for the meat and potatoes.
Okay, here we go.
All right. So, now I'm going to preface this with make sure that you guys stick around until the very end of this segment, because Mr. Epic Insanity has a couple big announcements to make. Now, Epic, we mentioned it a little bit in our last little segment, but you happen to have a podcast of your own. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Frozen Nerds and what it is that you guys actually do?
We don't do a whole lot. We derail. We talk about topics that are not in the show notes. We refer to ourselves more as like a radio show than a podcast. We like to have fun. We like to laugh. We do like to get down to business. I am the business in the front, and Kilroy is definitely the party in the back. We are a podcast mullet, so to speak. We are a Blizzard Entertainment podcast. We sit down each week, release a new episode every Tuesday morning because we like to release the same day everybody else does. So we literally talk about everything Blizzard Entertainment. So we don't leave anything off the board. We play all the games, minus me playing Hearthstone. I've played Hearthstone. I like Hearthstone. I just don't have time for Hearthstone. Like, everyone talks about playing Hearthstone on their phone, and I'm like, how do you do that? Like, the only time I ever would have time to do that would be driving, and I don't feel like that's safe to play Hearthstone while driving. So
the law only says you're not allowed to text. I didn't see anything in it about playing Hearthstone. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So my luck is I would get pulled over for Hearthstoning, and they wouldn't know what that was, and they'd probably think I was stoned, and then I'd get arrested. So, but
oh, that's great. Now we've seen it earlier. We have a picture of some months back, but you, sir, are in possession of what most would call a very epic beard. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of your beard?
Well, my beard actually started November 1st of 2014.
It has a birthday?
It does. It actually falls the same weekend of BlizzCon the last couple years. Because my beard started when I was at BlizzCon. I've always had 5 o'clock shadow. I was in the police academy. I had to shave every day. Hated it. Didn't become a cop. So I don't have to shave. So I grew out the beard off and on for No Shave November. Throughout my whole life, just always grew facial hair. I've been blessed with those genes. Not everybody gets them. I've just been lucky, and thanks to my parents. But I started growing my beard BlizzCon 2014, and that was my first BlizzCon. I went out there. I didn't pack a razor, and I was just going to rock 5 o'clock shadow the whole week I was there, which turned into Epic left with a beard. And everyone's like, dude, you could probably grow a beard. I was like, I'm going to do it. And I made a pact to myself that I wasn't going to shave for 1 year. And I was going to go BlizzCon to BlizzCon without shaving. And I did it. And BlizzCon 2013 is when it started. Rewind. BlizzCon 2014, when I got there, everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's so big. That's so crazy. And then the last day on Sunday, I went up to my hotel room and I cut 3 inches off. And cleaned it all up, was nice to the cleaning crew because I'm not that kind of guy. And everyone's like, what did you do? And I was like, don't worry, it'll grow back. And that was a year into it. And now a year and 3 months later or 2 months later, it is massive. It reigns in at about 9 inches. Ooh. So that is chin to bottom of beard hair. It gets in the way. It tries to choke me when I sleep. I occasionally wake up with it in my mouth and sometimes tuck behind my ear. How that happens, I'm not sure.
Wow. That
so,
is incredible. I hadn't even thought about that.
Zip up hoodies are a thing that are painful now because if you zip too far, you get the beard and you can't turn your head and it hurts.
jeez. So I'm starting to get some of that. I'm a year in and nowhere near as epic. But it's starting to get caught in things. And it definitely it gets caught in the shirt when I put the shirt on. I wear a Bluetooth headset that I'm starting to not wear. Because it always gets caught in that. It's one of the little ones that goes around your neck. And that's just annoying. It's a commitment to have a beard. People don't realize this.
Like I always say, okay, so let's look at women. Oh, actually, not calling you a woman, but you have long hair women. Too. Yes, let's do it. Pause the show.
I'm
Google
with
women.
You on this one. But yes, no, I have hair past my shoulders now.
Yeah, that's commitment too. That takes dedication. You have I have a beard now, so it's kind of reversed, but dude takes a shower with short hair, takes 5 minutes to take a shower. You just throw some product in or just go natural and just let it flow all over the place. Now you grow out your hair. Now you have to wash it and take time and condition it and cut the split ends and all this stuff. It's the same thing with a beard. There's commitment to it. At BlizzCon, normally I don't oil my beard every day. I oil every couple days, or when I feel like it's getting dry, put some oils in it, give it some nutrients and to make it softer and smell nice. But at BlizzCon, every day I'm oiling my beard because people are touching it, people are smelling it, people are doing things to it that I don't always approve of.
Sorry.
FYI, a beard is not something to grab onto and walk people around with like they're a dog. Just throwing that out there.
A beard is not something that should be touched either without permission, any more than you would walk up to a young lady and start stroking her hair. If you think that walking up to a young lady and just gently running your hands through her hair as you're talking is creepy, it's equally as creepy. Ask before you touch the facial hair.
It's like cosplay.
Yeah.
Ask for consent. Ask if it's okay to take a picture with the beard. Ask if it's okay to touch the beard. I should sit down and make a list. Are you familiar with the Transporter movies at all?
Yes.
It's respect the man's car and the man will respect you. It's the same way. It goes for women too. Don't just go touch women's hair. Don't go touch a pregnant woman's stomach. Don't touch a baby. Ask before you do these things, because there are things in this world called germs. And that's how people get sick and get Zika. World news.
Zika virus. That's the latest thing that's going to kill us? Is that what happened to bird flu? I thought we were all supposed to be dead.
I don't know.
I thought the bird flu was going to get us. I love the news. I love it. They come up with things that are going to kill us. And then somehow we forget that the thing that they said last week that was going to kill us didn't kill us. So now the new thing's going to kill us. But they never do. So... yeah.
We could do a whole podcast on anti-news and just talking about how dumb the news is.
Hey guys, the bird flu isn't going to kill you. 16 people are sick in Asia. You're okay. That would be great.
Of 11 billion people. It's just
out of 11 billion people, one died. He also got hit by a car right before he died. But we're blaming the bird flu because he was sniffling. And it makes good news.
In a world where there is only one bird flu.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my gosh. Now, okay. So you're not spending a lot of time in WoW right now. What are you doing when you do get time to game?
I am playing whatever grabs my attention at that time. I'm weird. And I like to play video games by myself.
No, I've seen you. Have I seen you in some H1Z1?
Yes, you have.
Okay.
Oh man, I need to log into that after tonight. Total spaced. In H1Z1, you have to repair your fort or it falls down. So yeah, I need to go do that.
Well, they just split the game, right?
What was that? Yes, they just split it.
The split just happened.
Yeah, I think. Well, actually, I think that's why I couldn't do that last night because the servers were down for 24-hour maintenance.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, they split the game into survival and then King of the Hill. I'm a survival player because I like to scavenge and make awesome forts and kill zombies by myself. So I play survival. So
Okay. Yeah, I loved the H1Z1, the maker of the game. Like I was following their tweets last night because nerd. And somebody was like, "Should I go to sleep? I have to wake up in 10 hours." And they're like, "Yeah, dude, go to sleep. It's not coming up in like 30 minutes. Like go to sleep." And it's like
Yep.
like if you're at the point in your life where you're asking that, like there's one of those balancing lives to kind of go back to our questions thing. Examine your life at that point, friends.
yeah.
It's yeah. So you've been overwatching. Favorite hero? What you got? Who are you liking? Because I've seen
like
you, I feel
picking a
like I've seen
favorite.
you do a lot of diva.
I am a big Devo player. So in the stress test weekend, I got invited. That was the first time I got to play at home. I did get to play a lot at BlizzCon previous years, but stress test weekend was the first weekend I got to play at home. I logged, I think, over that course of that weekend, about 60 hours in Overwatch. It happened to fall on a weekend that I had a 3-day vacation weekend, like not planned. It just happened. I played Diva that entire time. She was the only hero I played. I play a lot of Diva now. I play a lot of Reinhardt now. Play a lot of Junkrat. And I am a huge fan of going Torbjorn and making turrets just to make the other team cry and scream and yell and be mean to me at the end of the match. So
Nice.
like
Well,
I will go him just at the end of the match a lot of times or at the start. Just a turret. Like but people don't realize that like the turret is overpowered and they need to nerf it. But I'm also really good with his gun. And I get a lot of headshots from halfway across the map because I know how to angle his shots. So when snipers are trying to shoot me, I snipe them.
nice. Well, that's what I know. One of the recent one of the nerfs that just came out is his turret isn't going to 180 immediately. So if you sneak up behind Torbjorn's turrets now, they're not going to immediately start shooting you. So there are like there's a couple like things coming through. It might not be turret watch anymore, as people are kind of oft to complain about.
Which the thing is if you are a good player at FPS, it does not matter what class you are playing or what hero you are playing. You're just good. Like people don't understand that like turrets right now don't make you a good player. But there are some people playing turrets that are ridiculously good. Like you run into that Bastion who just like is like godlike. He destroys you not because he's Bastion, but because he's ridiculously good at video games. Like people don't understand like the overpoweredness. Bastion has some major flaws because anybody that's level 1 can get a play of the game as Bastion.
Oh yeah.
It's like it's fair if you're good. If you're a good player, cool. But like I've gotten plenty of plays of the game where my turret killed 5 people and I was running back from the spawn point.
Yep.
So the play of the game is me running back by myself, not doing anything besides running back. Like that shouldn't happen.
No, and that is the most frustrating team when you're on the losing team, to see the play of the game end up being somebody just not doing anything. It's just but Overwatch is super fun. It's there's gonna be a lot of work. We got 4 months. So
Yep.
I'm just happy. And the one thing that I love people getting so salty about it, but the one thing that I try to tell people, if you're playing with me and you get salty, you're going to hear, hey guys, guess what? That hero being overpowered and working the crap out of you that whole match, you just gave Blizzard the data to do something about it. So do it next match, and the match after, and the match after, because if you like, we're just feeding them data. So even getting beat up on is actually a good thing at this point. Now, once we go live, that's happening. Kind of a different story, but
yeah.
But yeah.
The biggest thing too is like I saw tweets and forum posts. I've been following Overwatch ridiculously hardcore lately. One of the things that people need to remember too is at the end of every match, you get to rate the match. That data is 100% solely for Blizzard's information. That's how they collect the data. So if you're just got wiped in 1 minute and 47 seconds, and the match, you had your skirmish before the match was longer, reported as a negative experience. Blizzard gets the data, they look into it. Oh wow, I literally, no joke, had a team go 5 Winstons and 1 Mercy.
Ooh.
And they pushed Objective A immediately. They got it. They all switched to Winston. They all jumped in on B and tried to take point B. We literally, that's when all of us went Bastions, and we just sat there and turreted them down for 10 minutes. They ended up still winning, but I had like a 30-player kill streak because like the thing is that's broken.
Yeah,
like,
no, it definitely is.
Happen. So, but you can also go in and rate players if you're in the Overwatch beta, and if you had a negative experience with a player, mark it as negative. Or if there was someone on your team that was just like awesome, encouraging, helpful, beautiful, high-fived you, give them a positive rating. Also, if somebody's mean to you, just put them on block. Like, just forget about it. Like, don't worry about it. It's beta. There are lots of jerks in every video game, and they're also in the beta. So.
Oh yeah. Now, you guys are going to be. Are you guys going to be doing another? We're totally going to shift gears here, but is there going to be another Rin raid up in Wisconsin this year? Do you know if that's going to happen yet? I know we have Midnight in the chat room.
That would be up to her and Ladra and whoever else might plan those things. I know we talked about it last year of doing a repeat, and doing one again this year. I know that there are lots of plans and lots of locations and multiple events going on with a Warcraft movie meetup. So I don't know if like make a long weekend out of it and go to the Renaissance Fair too. I don't really know. I'm not good at planning. I'm more at just showing up when I'm told to.
Well, where do you know where you're going to be for the Warcraft movie? Are you going to be doing Madison? Are you gonna go to Minneapolis? I know I can't say that. Chat room, don't jump all over me. Minneapolis. That place too.
I'm torn because Madison is like 2.5, 3 hours from me.
Okay.
Minneapolis is like 4 or 5 or 6 hours from me.
Ooh.
The other thing is Minneapolis is a very large city, and Madison is not that big. I honestly will probably end up going where my friends go.
Yep.
Because I want to watch the movie with people. So, I know Ladra and Midnight in the chat room, we went and watched Star Wars together twice.
Oh.
So yeah, kind of want to go see the Warcraft movie with those ladies again. Always a good time. That's our I shouldn't say my pie club. Oh, wow, I just probably offended them. Our pie club, we get together, go watch Star Wars, and then eat pie afterwards.
What's all right? I see your tweets. For those that don't know about Pie Club, what is this magical Pie Club that you it seemed to be involved in? Is it something that you have to? Is it secret? Do you have to be beat in? What is Pie Club? This sounds glorious.
Pie Club is basically like you get like when you get older, people go to restaurants and like sit down and just drink coffee, maybe a book club, maybe a beard club, maybe a hair loss for men club, whatever it might be. You meet at a local restaurant and you just enjoy what the restaurant has. We just like to meet up and eat pie. So we like to go to basically one restaurant and order pie. Kind of just all started with the random obsession with pie. We have a local restaurant. I shouldn't say it's local, but it's more of a Wisconsin thing. It's a Perkins. It's kind of just like an old school kind of diner slash restaurant slash. It's kind of like a Ponderosa. I don't know if those still even exist. But we go there and they have like 20 different options of pie, and they're all cooked fresh in their bakery, and they're amazing. And what better to sit down with nerds, eat pie, and Epic talks about everything, and they just listen to me. Like, they don't get to talk. I don't get to eat my food. And, yeah. So.
Oh, that sounds glorious. And evidently the chat room has pointed out that Perkins is an old person restaurant.
That is true. It is. But I love it. Like I'm that I like so rewind. I'm an old person. But I'm also the type of person who likes old school diners. I like truck stop coffee. Like I actually on my days off go to a truck stop and eat at the diner.
We don't. This is a G-rated show. We don't need to know what you do at truck stops on your day off.
Well, you see, I get their breakfast buffet.
That actually sounds glorious.
So they also have amazing pie too. But I like the coffee, like the black coffee that like this spoon stands up in.
Yes.
Like there is a place in California right next to the Anaheim Convention Center called Tiffy's. Tiffy's is my go-to spot in Anaheim. I walk into Tiffy's and they all know who I am. Like I eat Tiffy's every day for breakfast my entire time at BlizzCon. And
why did I not know about this?
It's my hidden little secret spot. It's right next to the Annabella. It's just a little hole in the wall, dive, greasy spoon restaurant.
Oh, that sounds glorious.
Breakfast is literally like $8, but you have to understand that it's greasy spoon breakfast. Like, if you were looking for a 5-star restaurant, Tiffy's is not the spot for you. It's a 5-star restaurant for me because that's what I like. So, but yeah, pro tip. Also, if you will off air, we can talk about liquor stores in Anaheim, but we'll do that later.
I found a really good one near our house, which that's what I did last year, and I would highly recommend that if you're going with anyone that you know. I paid less for 4 nights in a house than I did for 1 night in a hotel.
Yep. And
we split it like 10 of us. And yeah, we didn't stay at the Hilton, and oh no, I had to Uber home every night. But
oh no.
I'll tell you what, I had more money to spend on liquor and pie.
I have a liquor store that delivers to the Hilton. So you just call them up and tell them what you want.
Oh my gosh.
And they have your driver's license and your credit card on file, and they just bring it to your hotel room. Because that's a thing in California.
That's glorious.
They also, I walked in there after my first year. I went in there and I bought a bunch of liquor and whatnot. Did my adult drinking, my Spasa water. And my second year at BlizzCon going in there, the owner literally called me out by my biological name when I walked in. And it had been a year. So
wow, that's impressive.
I like to keep going back because it's like Cheers. Everybody, you just want to go where everybody knows your name.
Oh, heck yeah. Oh, that is awesome. That was what I can remember at one point in the Hilton bar. Somebody may have had it delivered. Like somebody's just handing around a bottle of liquor that like clearly was not actually from the Hilton bar. But
Yep.
like that's how like Saturday night like BlizzCon gets.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's an interesting experience. If anyone within the sound of our voices has not made it to BlizzCon and is at all a Blizzard gamer, please go to BlizzCon. Oh my gosh, so much fun.
And even if you don't drink, the experience of
people
hanging out
watching.
with everybody that does drink and acts stupid just adds to it. Like I should post this to Twitter. I have a selfie that several selfies that me and Cuddles took together.
Oh jeez.
While we were both inebriated on Saturday night at BlizzCon.
Oh jeez.
And I think the one was we both were literally just staring into each other's eyes, and I took a side selfie of us just like nose to nose.
That one. That was a good one. Captured the moment. It was magic.
You're like, what are you doing? I'm like, just keep looking at me. I'm taking a picture.
Oh, geez. Now, I hear that you have a couple big announcements that you wanted to make on this show.
Yes.
Well, why don't you go ahead and lay those on us? We got like 20 people in the chat room. We got plenty of people who see this video later. What are you wanting to tell us, Mr. Epic Insanity?
So I heard through the grapevine that Cuddles likes hype.
Hype.
And as somebody else who enjoys hyping and teasing and just all around having fun with secrets, I went to Cuddles, I think it was a couple days after you asked me to do the show, and I was like, hey, do you want to be part of history?
Ooh.
History in the making.
A historical moment, if you will.
It's not going to be like making a murderer, because we're not going to take 10 years and falsify a bunch of court documents, but we are going to make history today. Well, not really, but I'm trying to hype this up for myself too, because I'm nervous about talking about it. But I kind of hit on it a little bit earlier. 3 years ago, rewind in the past, 3 years ago, I started doing podcasting on a show called Epic Questions. Epic Questions was my baby. It was my first show that I ever made. It was a World of Warcraft question and answers podcast.
Ooh.
This podcast took noob, casual, hardcore raider, only play on the Sunday raider, whatever type of player you were. We took questions from the community and answered those questions on the podcast. So if you wanted to know where to farm the sea turtle mount, if you wanted to know boss strats, if you wanted to know, the weirdest question I think we ever got is a frog magnetic? Because there was a quest in WoW that you collect a frog in magnets and you repel the frog or something like that. So this show, it was a show that I did with Kilroy for a while. The problem is it got to the point where we were getting the same questions every week and answering the same question every week to a different person. And you just want to scream out into the microphone, go listen to the last 47,000 episodes where we answered the same questions. So today, what I'm going to announcement number one, should have made this the second one because this is more of the bigger announcement. Today, I am proudly going to announce the return of the Epic Questions podcast.
Woohoo!
So this is something that I actually, if you guys rewind back into history again, to the Well Played party at BlizzCon 2015. Cuddles was nice enough to have me on camera there too, and interviewed me and asked me all these awesome questions. And I hinted to the chat room then, I hinted to him, he had no clue what was going on, that I was going to be bringing something back and doing something that I used to do and bring it back. So this isn't something that I just woke up and was like, dang dog, I'm going to bring it back. No, this has been, no joke, probably, I think I started kicking this idea around back in September of 2015. So this has
Wow.
been a process. Um, Basically, what it's going to do though, this show is going to take a twist. It's going to just be me this time. I'm going to go solo, just time thing. I have more time than most people because I can make my time work. Uh, the show is not going to release on a regular schedule. So it's not going to be an every Tuesday or an every Thursday or an every Wednesday show. The show is literally going to release when I get 5 to 10 good World of Warcraft questions to answer. The first show is going to answer all those questions that everybody always asked, like, what's your favorite mount? What's your favorite hero? What's your favorite class? What's your favorite raid boss? I'm going to answer all those questions to get them out of the way, and I'm going to refer back to that episode anytime anybody asks those questions. So these questions are submitted by the listener. The community of World of Warcraft is going to submit questions, and I'm going to research them. And I'm going to give you 2 different answers. Unless if it's a straightforward answer like Ironforge. Then I'm going to tell you that. The catch is, I'm also going to answer questions on Twitter, Ask FM, on the show, through email. Basically, I'm going to answer all the questions, but only certain questions are actually going to make it on the show.
Okay.
The other twist to the entire thing is, Epic Questions used to be a 100% World of Warcraft podcast. If you guys haven't been listening to this show, I played 22 minutes of World of Warcraft this week, so I'm probably going to launch another World of Warcraft podcast, because 22 minutes, man, that's a lot of time.
That's plenty enough content for, a couple hours every week, right?
So what I'm going to do is, I'm also going to be launching Epic Questions. It's going to be referred to as Epic Questions Season 2, because everybody likes Season 2 better than Season 1, for the most part. But Epic Questions Season 2 is going to be World of Warcraft questions. Epic Questions Season 2 other episode with brackets behind it that says Overwatch, Heroes of the Storm, StarCraft, Diablo, Hearthstone. I'm going to have a separate show for all of the other Blizzard games together. So if you are not an Overwatch fan and you do not want to hear me talk about Overwatch, you just don't listen to the Overwatch podcast. So if you only like World of Warcraft, you can listen to just the World of Warcraft episode. My goal is, honestly, if I get enough questions, I will literally put an episode out every night.
Wow.
Because it's all based on what the listener wants. So yes, it's a challenge to me, but the thing is, if your question isn't a good question for me to answer on a show and have a discussion about, I'm going to skip over it. I don't want to say that there's not always good questions, but sometimes, like, if you get asked a question that really only has a yes or no response to it, it's kind of hard to force a discussion out of a yes or no response question. So it's like asking, do you like the color black? Yes. Cool. The conversation's over.
Yeah, there's nothing else to say.
So.
Oh my gosh, dude, this is awesome. The epic return of an epic podcast from Epic Insanity. Like, wow. Like, I'm like legitimately pumped up about this. Like, I knew about it. Obviously, you mentioned it, but like, I don't know. Just hearing you explain it, this seems like it's gonna be super cool, man. I can't. When can people look forward to the first things to be out there?
So originally, it was supposed to be as I was literally talking about this on the show. While we were talking, I was going to be uploading them to iTunes and Stitcher so that people, as soon as they got done listening to this, could go download the latest episode. But I had car problems and life problems this week, so everything kind of got pushed back a little bit. I'm going to go on record and say Saturday morning, people are going to be able to download the latest first 2 episodes of Epic Questions. Those episodes have already been written. They just need to be recorded, edited, and published.
Right on. For many
I'm
of our
excited.
Well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm excited because shout out to Kim Scally from Twitter. She does the intro to the Frozen Nerds podcast. It's our epic intro. She's Scottish, and she talks in her normal voice, and she sounds amazing. And we use her voice with a bunch of cool music overlay in the background. I have contacted her, already made it, and it's been made for like 2 months. I have her doing our intro for the show too.
Oh, that is awesome.
I'm super excited. Like, we put all the feels into creating our intros. Every time I edit the Frozen Earth podcast and I push play to listen to it, I listen to the intro every time. We're recording episode 95 this coming week. So 95 times I've listened to her voice, and every time I get chills hearing that intro. Yeah. So I'm excited to bring that with Epic Questions too. I contacted her all the way back before BlizzCon, and she gave me the voiceover stuff back then. So this is a project. I'm excited. I'm rambling because I'm excited.
No, this is awesome, and I didn't know who did your intro, because I will say, you guys, I would like top two like best, Darkmoon Herald and you guys are like the two of the very only like podcast intros that I listen to, and there's like feels. Like it's not just an intro of a show. It feels like something's gonna happen. And oh my gosh, your intro, I do like your intro. I'm jelly.
And I will say, I am shocked to be grouped with Darkmoon Herald. Like, that hits me in the fields. Like, them. Oh,
well, dude, they're okay. Wow. Can we admit that they have one of the best intros? But
for sure.
They're kind of cheating because they had the Darkmoon Fair like music to work with. Like, they were already starting a leg above the rest of us.
See, like us, little do people know that our intro music is actually the Frozen Throne music from Warcraft 3.
I did not know that.
Yes, and it's overlaid with the sound of a blizzard blowing, so you get that chilly kind of vibe going.
Oh.
And that's the same exact music that I'll be using in the relaunch of Epic Questions.
There's like layers to this stuff. It's like he's like a Shrek. It's awesome.
Yes, I'm like an onion. I have many layers.
Oh my gosh. That's so cool. I never look at this, guys. Behind the scenes, game case exclusive info coming out. I for one am super pumped. I will make sure that there's links for this in the show notes, and I'll be tweeting stuff out as soon as you get stuff up and live. Dude, so excited for you. This is really cool. It's cool stuff. Thank you for bringing it on my show and talking about it.
Thanks for letting me, because I'm not done. I got more.
Oh, you got more?
Because I never stop.
Oh, can't stop.
Can't come on someone else's show and only announce one thing, right?
I know.
So the second thing I want to announce today should have been the first thing I wanted to announce, because it's kind of the smaller project. But I don't do anything small, hence my beard. So my second thing, I'm just going to go ahead and say what it is. I am launching another podcast.
What?
So I am not only announcing one podcast return, I'm announcing a brand new podcast that I'm going to be putting out by myself. And once again, possibly doing every day because I can.
Wow.
This podcast is going to be different than anything else that you've ever heard of, due to the fact it's going to be me, unfiltered, saying whatever I want, however I want, whenever I want, about whatever I want. This podcast is going to be called Epic Adventures. That podcast is going to be called Epic Adventures because it's going to follow my obsession with video games. It's still going to be Blizzard Entertainment video game based. I'm not going to be talking about my car problems and somebody kicked my dog and there's a tear in my beer. I'm literally going to still be bringing Blizzard Entertainment stuff. But here's the kicker. If Blizzard announces something big, I want to sit down and talk about it right away. Legion was announced. I live tweeted the entire thing, and I was like freaking out because it was so awesome. I want to be able to sit down and record a podcast minutes after that announcement's made. Heck, record a podcast during the announcement. Like, I want to have the freedom to do that at the snap of my fingers because I can. I have the equipment. Like, why not do this? And sometimes I want to ramble, as I do all the time, and I want to talk about stuff such as, so I'm going to try not to talk about everything I want to talk about in the first episode, but there's things that pop up in the community all the time. World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Heroes of the Storm. There's all this stuff that pops up all the time, all over the place. And I have to wait until Sunday when I sit down and record Frozen Nerds to talk about it. And sometimes you can't just express your feelings 6 days after it happens. You just want to sit down, push record, and capture that in the here and now. There was an uproar a couple weeks ago in the Heroes of the Storm community about the North America winter or spring tournament that's going on. It's going to be shot in California in a studio that fits less than 200 people. There will not be an audience. It will just be production crew and the gamers. Everyone's freaking out. I want to be able to sit down and talk about that. Because why wait 6 days to talk about it? So. But that one is going to be kind of the same thing where it's going to release on its own schedule. The best way to keep up with that too is to literally just stalk me on Twitter or social media. All of that is going to be the biggest thing. But if you like the Game Case show, you always want to subscribe to podcasts that you do enjoy listening to on iTunes or Stitcher, so you get those latest updates as soon as they're published. They download overnight, so you don't have to download them on your drive to work, and it's great. So that's the biggest thing. I'll have more information. I'll get it to Cuddles. I'll probably have Cuddles on the show too because I have the freedom to do whatever I want. Because he plays video games every night, and I can just force him to talk to me for 15 minutes. So
I can talk about things. Can I use wordy dirties on this new show?
Sure.
All right. I like it when I can go someplace and use wordy dirties. So I don't do that here. Sometimes
I do a lot of that. I do probably too much of it, actually.
It's fun sometimes. especially if you're talking about something like if you're gonna be doing like an opinion sort of thing and really talking about something, there's some things that I've wanted to pull my adult words out for here lately.
Yep.
For example, subtlety rogues in Legion Alpha, which thankfully the entire community used all their adult words and they're totally reworking it and we're happy now. But 2 podcasts, man, not one. Because that would have just been like some normal sanity. But 2 podcasts bringing the heat, bringing the epic insanity to the Game Case. Dude, I can't believe it. Like, congratulations. I cannot wait to see what is going to come out of your mouth. What's going to go into my ears. Like, this is awesome.
So part of the reason I wanted to announce him on your show is because your excitement level on everything is always so awesome. Like, I'm so excited to do this now. Like, I'm tempted to not sleep tonight to record this.
Dude,
like,
you Toad should record something tonight. What are you doing? You should have like 5 episodes in tonight. I drank a whole pot of coffee during this episode.
I'm drinking a Monster. So
there you go.
But yeah, like, dude, like, I appreciate it. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited. I was excited to be here tonight to announce that stuff. I've been promoting on Twitter. I resurrected the old school Epic Questions podcast Twitter account today, and which is just epic_questions on Twitter. Resurrected that today and just tweeted out a like taps the microphone. Is this thing on kind of thing?
Nice.
And I think some people found out about it because I didn't retweet it and I got a lot of followers today. Which it excites me because I'm excited. I know actually Ladra in Midnight like, more than anybody knew about this already. She is a great friend of mine. We spend a lot of time discussing this kind of stuff over pie. So she's been kicking me in the pants for months to just do this. And I'm excited to just finally do it and tell the world about it and run with it and have fun. And that's what podcasting is all about, is just being stupid in front of a microphone, maybe a camera if your internet's not a potato, and just enjoy yourself. That's what it's all about.
Oh my gosh, that is now. I just went and found epic_questions over on Twitter. I retweeted it from my at mullet863 account. So anybody that's listening to the show or watching right now, please go follow at least that one. Epic will tell you a little bit later on all the other places that you can find him and his things on the internet. But this is like super exciting, man. I love to see. No, okay. Well, Epic Questions. Several people in the chat room said that they went and subbed on iTunes. Is it going to be going out on the same iTunes feed that it used to be on? The one that's still present there?
Yep, it'll be on the same exact one. There will be a new logo that pops up, and that will signify when the first new episode is there. But it's the same exact Epic Questions on iTunes. It will be labeled as Epic Questions Season 2, Episode 01. And it'll probably be abbreviated S2E01. Because I don't know if iTunes will let me type all that stuff into each and every line. But yep, that's where you'll find that one. The other one will be submitted to iTunes and Stitcher here shortly. But like always, you can find everything I do always on iTunes. Super easy. It'll be called Epic Adventures. And the logo for that one is going to be super awesome. It's literally going to be just my beard logo that I use on Twitter.
Oh, I love your beard logo, bro.
So,
I still have that. I have that pin not sitting on my desk right now. Actually, no. It's attached to my BlizzCon badge hanging up in my bedroom.
perfect. Right where I wanted it to be.
I know. It's like you're looking at me every night as I fall asleep. It's magic. I love it. Ooh, I'm getting chills. No, it was awesome because that little pin, he had these little pins with this beard logo, and it's awesome, and you guys will see it on Epic Adventures. But as I'm walking around BlizzCon, everybody's like, where'd you get that pin? I'm like, it's from Epic Insanity. You can't have one. It's limited edition.
Somebody
What?
actually stole mine off of my messenger bag.
Oh, were you kidding me?
I had my Tracer one, my Frozen Pepe one. I had all of my pins all on my messenger bag, and the only one that went missing was my Epic Insanity one. The cool thing is, though, is those were super limited edition. I only made up 25 of those pins, and only 20 of them traveled to BlizzCon. I actually gave some out to Midnight and Ladra before I left. And then I mailed some out to some winners of the Frozen Nerds stuff that we did to promo BlizzCon. And so I only had 20, and I came home with 3. So I gave out 17 of them. So there was only 17 people at BlizzCon that actually walked away with one of those pins. And if I would have known that they were going to be as popular as they became, I would have had like 200 of those things made. But
Yeah.
I like limited edition. If I do BlizzCon again this year and I bring pins again this year, they will be different because every year has to be different. So
I thought like everybody was so nutso over pins. I'd kind of wish that I had done pins, and that may be something that's coming, folks. I don't know. I have to come up with something worthy of going on a pin first because I don't know how I would signify my neck beard on a pin. It would be, I don't know, it would be different.
I'm really good at drawing stick figures. We could probably figure this out.
That's about the extent of my artistic ability as well. So I'm actually very bad at stick figures.
I'm great at graphic design, but I cannot draw a stick figure to save my life. Like, I get it. It's a circle and some lines, but it just looks weird every time I do it.
Nice. Well, I think. Do you got anything else? You got any crazy other rabbits to pull out of a hat for us tonight, Epic?
I'll just, because I'm in the mood to just do crazy stuff. Eventually, sometime this spring/summer, I want to do a 24-hour charity stream.
Ooh.
And it's going to be called Save the Beard.
Okay.
basically the way I want to do it is set two different goals. And if I don't meet the first goal, I will shave my beard.
Whoa.
If I meet the first goal and meet the second goal or get close to the second goal, I will not shave my beard. It will be an Extra Life or a Child's Play stream. So all the money will go directly to charity. But basically, to save me from shaving my beard, I want people to give back to the kids. And Child's Play is a huge, close thing to my heart. Children's hospitals are a huge, close thing to my heart. My nephew was in the children's hospital for 3 months after he was born due to complications, and just the amazing work that those people do. It's one of those things where I've always wanted to do a charity stream, and I feel like that's the perfect thing to do. And honestly, for the kids, save my beard so I don't look like a kid, because I look 12 when I shave.
Oh, that is wonderful. That is wonderful. And I think, are you out now? I feel like something crazy is gonna pop out of Epic.
I am so full of energy right now. Like, you don't even, like, I literally have to be awake at 4 a.m. for work. And, like,
I don't know how that's going to work.
I don't know if it's possible now.
Oh, my gosh. Well, so many cool things coming out of Epic, but that is going to bring us to the point in the show where we do shout-outs. If I can find a bumper here, let's find a bumper. There. And now it's time for shout-outs.
All right, yeah, come on. Whoa, I mean, not come on, but yeah.
So, Epic, do you have any shout-outs this week?
I want to give a shout out to all 16 people in the chat room.
Woo.
Because seriously, 16 people listening to me talk on the internet, that's amazing. But I want to also give a shout out to my raid team, Relentless Aggression on Zul'jin Horde side, for putting up with me each and every week. They go along with my crazy antics of carrying people to heroic Archimon kills. They do have a say in it, but they don't honestly have a say in it. They're just going to do it because we like to help out and give back. Shout out to Kilroy for being an awesome co-host on Frozen Nerds. Shout out to each and every person I played Overwatch with this week, because you guys are amazing. And shout out to Cuddles for putting up with me, and also for letting me come on the show and drop some major bombs.
Oh, well, I am my first shout out has got to be right back at you, Epic, for coming on this show. This has been a long time in the making, ever since we touched beards in Wisconsin in front of a White Castle. It's been a magical and ever evolving friendship ever since then. And I'm proud to call you my friend. I'm so like grateful for the content that you produce and what you and Kilroy are doing. I really like I could not be more pumped about what's coming up. Like I said, coming up out of your mouth into my ears, it's going to be incredible. I can't wait to see it. I've already subbed to the things. I can't wait. Like, I am that pumped up. Outside of that, Rubber Chicken Coalition, Bacon and Kegs, all the people in the WoW here lately, all the people in Overwatch, Wicked and the Just Wipe It crew have been great to me, especially lately. If you're looking for more cuddles this week, guys, you can find me the last episode of Battle Res Bears, the last episode of The Converted, and the last episode of the Dark Moon Herald. I will say I wanted to mention the Dark Moon Herald because there is a place at the end of the show where they do Dunk Tank trivia. Now, if you guys know me, you know that I haven't been playing WoW for very long. So you can guess how Dunk Tank trivia went until, I will say this, listen until the final question. Just do it. It'll be worth it. If you're not a regular listener to the Dark Moon Herald, what are you doing? But go listen to them. Go listen to that episode with me on it. It is, I said some things that I didn't think I would ever say on the internet. And if you're a regular listener to my show, you know it's got to be pretty out there.
That's what I was just thinking. I'm like, what? And you said it on their show?
I know.
Like, They're PG.
It'll be interesting.
I'm scared.
I'm not gonna give anything else away. You got to go listen to it. So I do have 2 iTunes reviews to read this week. The first one comes in from Big Black Canadian. Thank you. This is a great all-around podcast for any fan of the Blizzard universe, including WoW, HOTS, etc. Cuddles is a very entertaining host that is so positive and welcoming. He feels more like a neighbor than a podcast host. Wonderful cast and a must listen, and that is from Bell in CTR. And that is a 5-star review, so thank you, Bell. And my next 5-star review this week is titled 5 of 5 Would Put in My Ears Again, from that one guy. Definitely in the strange way. Host looks like Jesus Christ. How can you go wrong? So thank you for that one guy. I appreciate you. And thank you to everyone that takes the time to leave a 5-star review over on iTunes. That brings me to the part of the show where I get down on my virtual knees and I beg and I plead with you to leave me those all-important 5-star iTunes reviews. Give me the thumbs up on Stitcher. Like me, love me, do all the things in all the places. Remember, if you want to leave 5 stars, it is the Game Case Show. If you don't like what's going on, if you didn't like this latest episode, leave 2 stars for Hipster Beards, a podcast about wearing your beard ironically. Horrible show. Leave them 2 stars. I'm going to feel really bad if that's really a thing. I think that's the first one where I'm worried that might actually be a podcast out there.
I'm going to launch one tonight.
Put 5 stars for the Game Case Show. Now, Epic, where can people find you on the internet?
Well, that's a great question. The best way to find me would be on Twitter. It's just epic_insanity. The underscores are important because Epic Insanity, all one word on Twitter, is somebody talking about Hello Kitty underwear.
I am now following them.
Well, that's the problem. People need to stop following them because I want the handle and I can't get it because it's technically active, even though it hasn't tweeted in 4 years. But you can also find me on Twitter at Frozen Nerds. It's 1 N 2 Z's because we're difficult. And you can also find us at frozennerds.com. You can find the new show or the old show returning as a new show, sliding, I don't even know all the shows, at epic_questions. And eventually I'll figure out a handle for Epic Adventures. It might just be Epic Insanity. But I also do a Death Knight podcast that I haven't done in a long time. But that might be making a return too. So, yeah. I do a lot of stuff. But like I said, the best way to follow me is just on Twitter, epic_insanity, if you're not already following me. If you are following me and you are in the chat room, poke me and let me know, and I will follow you back because I like new people.
He said new. He said new people. So let's not nude.
Look, I get plenty of nude followers.
I'm looking at you,
want
Squinty.
new ones.
I'm looking at you, Squinty.
Whoa.
I'm just saying.
Whoa.
I'm just saying. So I will have links in the show notes for all of those places that you can find him, all the places that you can find the things that he does. Go check them out. They're awesome. They're incredible. He is awesome and incredible. His beard is better than mine. And it's not even live on video. So this was a good time. This is going to do it for episode 43. If you'd like to join our live audience and hang out in the chat room like all the people did tonight, the viewer list is still broke, people. I'm sorry. I normally give you guys a shout out, but yeah. Thanks, Twitch. You can check us out on twitch.tv/thegamecase at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time each and every Thursday night. Like I said, if you'd like more cuddles this week, make sure to check me out on Battle Res Bears, Darkmoon Herald, or as always, The Converted. Thank you so much for listening to episode 43 of The Game Case. You can find me on Twitter at Mullet863. You can find the show at The Game Case Show. You can download us on iTunes and Stitcher, catch recordings of the live show or our tips, tricks, and kill videos at youtube.com/thegamecase, or find all of the things on the official site of The Game Case Show, thegamecase.com. Now, if I didn't say The Game Case enough in the last 30 seconds, well, I'm sorry. That's all I could fit in, guys. That is going to do it for tonight. Epic, say bye.
Bye.
Game Case out.
Thank you for joining us this week inside The Game Case. Please join us next week for more news, tips, and ramblings about the World of Warcraft. Game Case out.
World of the Warcraft.
All right. And that is a podcast.
That is a podcast.
Oh, that was awesome. Okay. So, Epic, you're going to talk to the chat room for a second because I literally drank an entire pot of coffee and I need to go bio. But I don't want to just like end the show just like that.
I will talk to the chat room. I'm great at talking with people with a delay. So, chat room, how are you guys doing tonight? Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. I definitely had a great time. I always wonder why I don't do live shows. Like the chat room, oh my gosh, you guys are freaking out of control. Like this is awesome. Like it's not very often that I'm on another show. It's also not very often that I do live anythings. So to see live shows and having people to talk to and respond to, it's definitely awesome. So Midnight just asked for me to describe my favorite flavor of pie. That's a trick question because they make amazing types of pie that come in liquid form. Apple pie, cherry pie,
What?
and they're alcoholic, and those are
Okay.
amazing. But also, I like peanut butter French silk pie. It's pretty good.
I'm a big key lime pie fan.
See, and I'm not, but I think it's honestly because of where I grew up. Like, it's not as common around here.
Yeah, and I would think you would be more likely to get bad key lime pie, and bad key lime pie is bad.
And that's what I think the issue is. Like, I've had it before, and it was always bad. So, like, it's not my go-to. Like, I'm a chocolate, like, even fruit, too. Like, strawberry, cherry, blackberry, peach, like,
Okay,
all that stuff.
next time I come to Wisconsin, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to bring up a slice of authentic key lime pie from Florida. It is going to fly with me. I may have to cradle it during the entire flight. It might not make it. I'm already thinking about this. I'm like, I'm going to fly with key lime pie in my lap. Like, that's not going to, I'm going to eat it before I board my first flight. Like, that's not going to, it's a horrible idea. Maybe I'll mail you some. I don't know.
I would say it's always hard because, like, well, it's pie. And if it's, like, one of your favorite types, too, like, it's like me, like, being from Wisconsin, people are always like, dude, what's your favorite kind of cheese? What? Like, I like cheese. Like, I don't, maybe, like, Swiss? Like, like.
I'm a big Munster fan.
Like, dude, I like it all. Like, I'm from Wisconsin. My dad works for a cheese factory.
What?
Like, you don't get much more Wisconsin than that.
That's pretty darned Wisconsin there, eh? No, I guess you guys don't. Yeah, it's not actually
Wisconsin.
Canada. Wisconsin. With the cheese castle in Wisconsin.
It's true. You went to the cheese castle.
I did. I didn't get to go inside the cheese castle. The cheese castle wasn't open.
That's probably because we would have never left the cheese castle.
I might want to live inside of a cheese castle.
It's true.
That would have been. This is like Epic Questions 2.0 preview. Nice. Shoe fly pie is PA Dutch regional. We have shoe pie. Words are hard.
Chicken.
We have a couple Amish restaurants down here that do that. We have some cool. No, I've never had mincemeat pie. Don't know. Is that like a meat pie? I don't know what that is. That sounds like it would be like a meat pie, like a British thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared to ask. Like, does it tie into like Deadpool?
Yeah, why not? Oh my gosh, have you seen it yet?
I have not. No.
Okay. All right. No spoilers. Just go see it. I have no other words.
I will see it. It's one of those things where it's like, being a guy with a large beard and going to movies by himself is just one of those stereotypes that I don't like to do.
Coming from the guy that was bragging about living in his parents' basement. Like, come on now.
Yeah. No, like, it's one of those things that's weird, like going out in, like, going to movies by myself. I used to do it all the time, and like when I lived closer to movie theaters.
Yeah.
Like, I do have a movie theater like 15 minutes away, but it's one of those like super tiny. They probably aren't even playing Deadpool because they probably thought it wasn't going to sell, and they were wrong. But I maybe on Saturday I'll go because it'll be like crowded enough. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I know there were some movie theaters in some smaller areas that weren't going to show it because of how profane it was.
Yeah.
And that was definitely not my area. And then it blew away records, like the highest selling R-rated movie ever.
Yeah.
That was it was, yeah. It too risque for the Wapaka Theater.
It's true, and you said that almost right too.
Almost. Yeah. All right. Well, we have a lot of like I'm going to presume that's Indian in nature. Okay. We have a lot of like weird Indian names down here, like like Weehumpka and Waimama, and yeah, we got the Seminoles down here, so we got a lot of interesting.
Yeah. And that's like us too. Like my town, which I'm not going to say because I don't want people to know where I live, is a Native American town that is actually what it stands for is Here We Rest. We're located right on a bunch of rivers, so they would travel.
You've given us enough information now.
They travel to the next town, and the town that you said before, Wapaka, is the town closest to me, and that means tomorrow. So we were always Here We Rest, and then they were tomorrow. So I'm actually part Native American, which is shocking because I can grow a beard. Because most Native Americans can't.
That's me. That's me. I'm part Native American, and that's what I blame for my complete inability to grow. Like people ask me all the time, like, "Oh, well, so you shave it like that, right? Like you're trying." Like, no, this is everything that I can grow. This is it. Yeah. Like I literally do not grow hair. I know you can't see my video, but I can't grow hair on my face. I can grow some hair on my neck, so I'm embracing the neck beard.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, like, it all comes down to genetics.
Yep.
It's truly what it is. Like, I'm Native American and German. And, like, not only will I kill you for no reason, like, I can grow a beard because I have enough German blood.
Yeah.
So, and, like, my dad is the same way. Like, if he could fully grow a beard, he'd be rocking the massive beard, too. But with working in a cheese factory, you can't grow beards.
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Then you'd have to wear a beard net?
Yeah, like, and what's funny now, too, is even if you have a mustache, you have to wear a beard net. So, like...
I feel like Wisconsin is a place where a lot of people would have mustaches.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know why, but that's just like in my head, everyone in Wisconsin is born with a mustache, like a good one, like a fireman's mustache.
It's pretty much true. Like, people our age, not so much.
Yeah.
But, like, everybody, like, 5 to 10 years older than us, yeah. mustaches. Now it's more, beards are ridiculously popular here. Like, when I go out in public, I see beards everywhere. But when I go out in public and see a guy with a beard equivalent to mine or just a damn nice beard, I will tell him that is a nice beard.
Yeah.
Like, I almost told a guy that he had a nice beard, and then I noticed that he had a man bun.
Okay.
And I was done.
What's wrong with the man bun? I'm man bun.
Yeah, but you have long hair.
Yeah.
If it's shaved on the side, like a mullet just on the top for the bun, all the girls right now are doing like the half-shaved head.
Yeah.
Depending on the girl, it can be very attractive or very strange looking. Like, I'm a fan of it, so I'm all about it. But like, that's what it looked like. It looked like he had both sides shaved and then just had a bun on top. Like, he looked like he could possibly be a samurai or a sumo wrestler. I wasn't sure.
Like a bad character in Vikings. I don't know if you've ever even seen that one.
I haven't. I should probably watch it.
You should watch that. There's a lot of interesting and unique hair and bearding in that show.
Man buns belong on that 2-star podcast.
They do. They do. That might be my 2-star podcast for next week. Man buns and how to wear them. Oh, that probably is a podcast. Which I will say, okay, with long hair, the man bun is actually hard. People always make fun of me because it takes me, like, I'm not really quick with putting up the ponytail. And people are like, oh, well, my girlfriend can put up her ponytail. Like, it just happens. And I'm like, yeah, but she's been doing that since she was like 4 years old. Like, I just got long hair. I'm still in the dexterity to man bun, because you got a pony, then you got to twirl, then you got to wrap, and then there's bobby pins. It's really like, it's actually a process, and it's kind of hard. I was recently in a wedding, and I actually had we went and everybody went to get shaved that morning, and they kept on pressuring me, and I was like, it's not gonna happen.
Good for you.
So I let the stylist give me a man bun. And it was one of those weird barbershops where, like, it's all girls, but they all have tattoos, so they're cool. And, like, I don't know. I'm not on that trend of paying $20 for a shave from a chick with tattoos.
My thing is, and I was following this interaction on Twitter when your whole thing was going on, like, because I am going to be in a wedding in August of this year. I keep forgetting when it is. Should probably mark it on the calendar eventually. My cousin is getting married, and I started growing my beard when I lived with him, and he met his fiance. So I had a big beard when they met. So my beard is technically older than their relationship. And when they asked me to be in their wedding, they asked me in full beard mode to be in their wedding. So if they bring up the fact that they want me to shave before the wedding, I will laugh at them and tell them that my beard trumps their relationship because my beard has been here longer than they've been together.
Nice.
So, because I have a feeling that because they are sweet talking me and being super nice to me, like they're paying for my hotel when we go to Vegas. Like they're being just overly nice. And I have a feeling that they're going to ask me to shave. And I'm going to do the same thing you kind of did, where you're like, yeah, I'll do it. And then just show up to the wedding with a full beard. Because what are you going to do about it now?
Yeah.
Or I'll tell them, now you have to find another guy to stand up in your wedding. And your wedding party is 8 girls and 8 guys. Best of luck to you.
Yeah, it's one of those things that becomes part of you. And if people are going to accept, like, it would be like a girl asking her bridesmaids, like, hey, listen, I really want you to be at my wedding, but you need to lose 30 pounds, dye your hair blonde, and like something else ridiculous. Like, it's It's
You need a full
changing who you
tattoo
are.
sleeve.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's not going to happen. Yeah. But no, I will say the chat room jumped on this. Keep me posted on the charity thing that you're going to do.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm very interested in contributing to this.
I need to figure out the logistics of it, because I want to make sure that like goals are obtainable, so I don't have to shave. But also goals that are realistic, that it would be a good cause and good money.
You heard it first here. Epic's goal is going to be $3.73.
Probably. But no, like it's one of those things where like, so it was teased about a couple years ago at BlizzCon, back when it was fully just World of Podcast. It was teased about that they were going to auction off my beard, and they were going to hold me down and shave me at BlizzCon. So that's kind of where the whole idea came from. And I've always just wanted to do a charity stream. Like,
Yeah.
Granted, I need not potato internet, but I just want to like I can, dude. I played Overwatch for 14 hours straight, no breaks.
Yeah.
Like, I can easily pull off a 24-hour charity stream. You know, like,
Definitely.
so I want to do something crazy to hype it. So obviously to shave my beard that's been on my face for 2 years. Like, and it won't be clean shaven down to skin. It'll be down to 5 o'clock shadow, because the last time I saw my face with down to skin was probably 10 years ago, and
Wow.
I'm not doing it again.
Wow. I am going to be announcing something that may involve me shaving my beard. It's not a charity stream, but it is going to be something that's going to go out probably within the next week or two. But it's I last time when I started growing this, I know if I shave now, I'm going to find a chin under there that didn't exist. So I'm not looking forward to that if the conditions for my thing are met. But we shall see. Cuddle Wife doesn't hate it, so it's sticking around.
Yeah, and I know, like, it was brought up in the chat room, like, I might also want to, like, people might not donate because they want me to shave. I actually thought about making the, like,
You
the
set like an
shave
insane
donation.
stretch goal.
Like, that was, like, the first goal was going to be, like, save the beard, raise $1,000. If we get $3,000, I'll shave. You know,
Yeah.
like, because a lot of the charity streams, like, I've participated in, helped out, they struggle to hit that $1,000 mark.
Yeah.
I'm not a streamer. I'm not entertaining at all when it comes to playing video games with the camera on. Like, it's me staring at the computer screen, clicking my mouse, cussing a lot. Like, so that's the whole thing, is like, I gotta, like, and obviously I'm gonna have people on there to like keep me awake and keep it hyped and keep it being an awesome time. But it's just one of those things where I want to do something awesome, and I want to do something like everybody always does. Like if BlizzCon is announced, which hopefully will be soon, officially announced, and we have dates and tickets and all that stuff, so many people start trying to raise money for different events for BlizzCon parties, like Well Played and Con Before the Storm and Hunter meetups and all this stuff. Like, and I get it. It's all awesome. But I want to do something for like kids, you know, like, but I don't want to guilt people into donating for kids. Like, I want
No, that's
people...
exactly what you want to do. Like, listen,
like,
people, there's children. Do you hate children? Why aren't you donating?
If we can raise as a community over $30,000 for parties at BlizzCon, like, and I get it. Like, I attended all those parties and I enjoy all those parties, and I understand the cost and the setup and everything that goes on behind the scenes with all of those parties. Like, I'm not downplaying that at all. Like, it costs like 10 grand just to rent a room for a night. That's insane. But that thing is like, that's like, and I'm not saying like, give me money, because I'm not like that by any means. I live in my parents' basement. Come on, guys. Like, I don't care about this stuff. But I care about kids, and I care about charities, and I care about, and I even thought like doing it in November for prostate cancer awareness,
Yeah.
but kids, like, it's like, and especially like and this is going to go into a sad sob story, but like I found out 2 nights ago that one of my dad's coworkers, their 7-year-old daughter passed away this last week. She had a heart condition and she passed out at school and went into a coma and wasn't coming back. And it's just like, there's so much you can do to like research and to help out and get medical care and all this stuff for kids that do have a chance still.
And if it helps just one kid, it's worth it.
Yeah. So that's why I'm so like, especially right now, I'm all like fired up, and I just got to keep the fire going.
Definitely. Well, that's going to be one of mine. I've been kicking around with a couple folks doing a charity stream myself. My big cause is I want to do suicide prevention. I've lost 3 friends in the last year to suicide. One of them, not that we saw it coming, but one of them, I guess, wasn't as surprising as the other 2. The other 2 were like totally out of left field. Like somebody was happy and like the happy-go-lucky friend, and then they were just gone, and no one had any idea. And it's fully preventable thing that, like we all have our causes that hit home to us. And yeah.
Well, and we all have we
have
nerds.
Well,
we all have.
And that's the thing. Like, especially you and I as content creators, we have an audience. There's been like 20 people in here all night. I mean, we have a base of people to talk to, and it's if we're not using that for good at some point, then what are we really doing? Like, it's great and all to feed our egos and have all these people in our chat rooms and listening to our shows and like get the 5-star reviews and be good at what we're doing. But let's use it. Let's wield our powers for good.
Well, and I'll share a story and this kind of fits into what you're talking about, using our powers for good. I've always said the entire time I've been podcasting that you're podcasting to one person. You don't know who that person is, but you're always talking to them, and you could be the reason that their day continues. Because every Tuesday they look forward to that new episode.
Yeah.
They may never leave a 5-star review. They may never tweet your show. They may never write into your show. They're that one person out there. I don't care if you have 10 million downloads a day from iTunes. All that matters is one person. Like, that one person. Like, and my thing is, like, we joke around, like, on Frozen Nerds, like, oh, we have 3 listeners. We know how many listeners we have. Like, we see the numbers. But we will never publicly share any of that information because it doesn't matter. We look at the listenership to make sure that we're doing something good still. But when it comes down to the end of the day, I get on my soapbox and I preach and I talk about this stuff. And like, I went to college. I have a bachelor's of science in psychology. So when it comes to that kind of stuff, like, that stuff hits home. But to me, like, people need to realize, like, there's so much bad in the world that as content creators, we can be that one person's hope and dream on Tuesdays that they get to hear somebody. It drives me crazy, but that's just because it's a personal thing. I hate when people refer to podcast listeners as fans. Because to me, I'm just a dude who lives in his parents' basement that hits a record button and puts his voice out there for thousands of people to hear. But I consider everybody that listens to my show as a friend.
Yes.
Like, we refer to them behind the scenes as frozen friends.
No.
Because they're not listeners. They're not fans. They're people. Like, sure, they may be bots and Twitter followers are bots, but there's still that one person out there that we want to reach. Like, and every day it might be a different person. It might be 10,000 people. It might be 1,000,000 people. But I've always tried to keep it small. Like, focus on doing your best to impress that one person. So.
Yeah. And that, sir, is why you're so successful.
But how do you measure success?
Oh, geez. Now we're getting into one of my majors, or one of my minors, philosophy.
Well, and I was going to say, and I have plenty of classes in that too. So I can...
Oh, let's start talking about existential angst and how it relates to podcasting.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like, people don't realize that there is so much, like, the podcast goes beyond, like, okay, let's talk about Scott Johnson. I had the opportunity to sit down with him this week and actually play Overwatch with him, which was like me fanboying the whole time. And I know you got to interview him at Well Played, and I was fanboying for you by watching. But like that, like, he reaches a massive audience.
Yeah.
But that guy's always doing awesome stuff for people. You know, like he is successful. He is doing a great thing for the community. He's reached a large number, but he is just like a regular dude. Like, that's what I love about him. Like,
yeah.
He's so normal. So,
yeah, I was not expecting what I got when I talked to him.
Yeah.
I was totally not expecting, like, the Scott Johnson. Like, he was just Scott. Like, I mean, he was not Scott Johnson of the instance.
Yeah.
Now, he does call several Blizzard employees by their first name that I don't. But that comes with doing one of the most popular WoW podcasts.
When I was playing Overwatch with him, when we were playing Overwatch, he's like, "Man, Chris just texted me and was wondering how we were enjoying the game tonight." And the whole group of us is like, "Who's Chris?" It's like, Metzen. We're all like, "Oh my gosh!" He's like, "Yeah, he's spectating."
Yeah.
We're all like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, it's just crazy. Like,
yeah.
And like, I get it. Like, we fanboy because that's like crazy talk. But the thing is like I fanboy and I try not to. Like, my biggest fanboy moment, since we're on fanboy moments, was meeting Josh Allen, our lore.
Yeah.
He's the whole reason I got into podcasting. Like, I loved all the shows that he did and everything that he did. Love that he's at Blizzard now. But I got to meet him at my first BlizzCon, like 2 hours after being at BlizzCon. And this was just as he started to work for Blizzard. And I was hanging out with Elvine and Olivia Grace. And this is pre-Olivia Grace working for Blizzard. And she's like, "Oh, yeah, I invited my friend Josh over for drinks." I was like, "Oh, cool," not knowing who she was talking about. And then all of a sudden, Laura walks up, and I was like, I need a moment. I literally excused myself, not saying why, but like went around the corner and just had to take deep breaths. Like, because like that's, and I get it. Like, I get why people fanboy. Like, but I get creeped out when people do it over me. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, you have an heart attack? Like, do I need to call 911? Like, is this just an excuse to have mouth to mouth? Like, I'm so confused.
Well, I actually have a goal for next BlizzCon. And this is something I've talked about a couple times. But last year, Artemis Howell, if anybody knows her,
yep.
She was one of the top WoW hunters for years. And she's now doing team management over in Heroes. She had Celestalon actually colored her hair for BlizzCon. It was this beautiful, like, bright green color. You could frequently see her about the bar at the Hilton carrying a Doomhammer or doing some other, like, outrageous Artemis Howell sort of activity.
Yep.
My goal for next year is to get Lore to give me a perm.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that going around on Twitter.
This is my goal in life, is to get Lore to, and I know his hair is naturally like that. Mine is not. But this is my unspoken, very loudly spoken goal. But really and truly, it's simply to like meet him and get to interact with him a little bit more.
Yeah. I was going to say, I know earlier in the chat it was talked about that this goes back to me shaving for charity. Somebody, I'm trying to see where I can find out what was exactly said. But somebody made a comment that what we should do is do like a challenge about, I'm trying to see if I can find it. But like whoever loses the bet has to shave. So I'm like, or maybe I'm just smoking crack and.
Well, like you could always put like rollers in it.
Well, I know like it was mentioned before, glitter beard.
Ooh, did you see when Notch did that? Did you happen to? I don't know if you watch any of the Spazbot stuff, but we did a Spazbot Studios Christmas special.
I saw a picture of it.
Oh my gosh! So he glittered it, and then he had light up, blinking Christmas lights in it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh my gosh! It was so because I was gonna do something for that show, with my neck beard, and then Notch mentioned in our Slack that he was doing something. I was like, yeah, no, out. There's no way. There's no way I can, because he does fun stuff like he's colored it green before, like green and green screened his beard.
Nice.
and made it like flames, and oh my gosh, it's nuts. So many cool things you can do with an epic beard.
Well, like I struggle with doing that to my beard. Like I think about like how much crap you have to do to your beard to make that work. Like,
yeah, you take alarmingly good care of your beard.
Yes.
So I don't know if you'd want to.
That's where I
take
stand.
That risk.
Like, and I don't think I've ever met Notch personally.
Yeah.
I want to say if he was at BlizzCon, I might have seen him from a distance.
Yeah.
Like, but it's one of those things where like I extremely pride myself in the quality of my beard care. Like, I should have beard sponsorships with as much tweeting as I do about beard products.
I know. Why hasn't Texas Beard Company picked you up yet, man?
Because they sponsor the instance.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's how I found out about them.
Nice.
And actually, they constantly give me discount codes to use. So they kind of give me kickbacks. But I love their product, so I use their stuff all the time. But, like, prime example, tonight, the process of washing my beard was cream rinse for 15 minutes prior to the shower. Then wash that out, use beard wash, bar beer wash, then rinse that out, then oil, then trim, then oil again, and then beard controller to keep it all in place. So,
wow.
So that's why my beard is so soft.
How many
so
combs do you have for your beard?
I have one wooden comb and one metal horse brush.
Wow.
That feels amazing on your skin, actually, shockingly enough. Because with a beard like this, you have to get down to the skin to get rid of the dead skin.
Okay.
Because just like your head hair, get dandruff otherwise. And
that's not good.
Well, especially in your face, because then what happens is you break out underneath your beard.
Yeah.
And that just hurts. Like, or you get ingrown hair, and that just hurts more because it's on your face. So.
Yeah, no. Well, now, earlier you said you have to be up at 4 a.m. I'm keeping you up late, sir. Why don't we go? I know we're having an absolutely wonderful time, and we could probably go on for about 6 more hours, but
true.
You probably want to shut your eyes for at least a little while.
Yes. I've had an amazing time. We definitely just need to sit down and hang out.
We need to do this more often, sir. I miss you.
If you are ever in Overwatch and you are not in a group, you let me know, because we are always grouping up for stuff in Overwatch with like everybody.
Woo-hoo.
So like, just if 'cause Overwatch is so much better with friends.
Oh yeah, I do not solo queue for Overwatch.
Yeah. And I'll install Discord so I can actually talk to you guys.
All right.
Because I could hear you guys, but then the problem was is other people were talking in party chat. And then
See, I have all that muted. I don't like that's the first thing I do when I go into, especially in FPS, is I mute everything. And I'm only talking to you if you're in a party with me. And I actually have party chat muted in game because we use Discord so often. So
yeah. Well, and partially because we're constantly swapping people and parties and groups and all this stuff all the time. Like, to even if we use Mumble, just to constantly get people to switch over to it, it's just like pulling teeth. So we've just always stuck to the in-game. But I need to figure out how to use Discord better anyway, because I thought about opening up a Discord for Epic Questions as another form of like communication and party talk. So,
well, that's what let's say bye to the chat room.
yes.
Bye, chat room.
Bye, chat room.
Thank you guys all for hanging out.
Yes.
All right.
Love you all.
And hey, guys, I will be back live in just a few minutes with some Overwatch, probably in the next 15, 20 minutes. So I'm going to try to Overwatch if anybody is still staying up and wants to play. Give me a few minutes to say bye to Epic, and I'll be back on. Toodles.
Toodles.
And we're